Hi everybody, welcome back to Aviary today, where we have quite a fun one. We have got an insect delivery for the aviary, so we've got an unboxing. What I'm going to be showing you is the different types of insects I feed to my birds throughout the year and a few tips on how to make them even more nutritious. Okay, so let's open the box, and first up we have 2 kilos of mealworms. Now these are a classic for all finch and softbill keepers. We all know them, and for the most part we all use them as well. Nutritionally, mealworms are certainly not the best, but they're not the worst either. They've got approximately 30 to 40% protein value, but the rest of it for the most part is fat, and they are lacking in a number of different vitamins. So as a quick tip for you all, for what I do with them is gut load them. What we're going to do is take the mealworms out of these bags, and for 24 hours prior to feeding them to our birds, we're going to give them a mix of vegetables, so things like carrots and broccoli, leafy greens, so I'll give them a general sort of mixed leaf mix or a lettuce or something like that. We'll give them bran flakes, and finally we'll give them a dusting over with a calcium supplement. This makes them have a much higher nutritional value to put into the birds, and they're a perfect vector to feed that to them. All of the birds get it here and they absolutely love them. So there we are, the first thing, 2 kilos of mealworms. Next up we have fruit flies. So we've got 3 tubs here, each with several hundred, maybe even 1,000 fruit flies in. Now the idea of these, and first off you need to know these are the flightless flies by the way, is I pop them in the aviary for the bearded tits, which absolutely love them. They mimic the wild invertebrates they would be hunting for in the reed beds. So popping them in the aviary, whether they've got chicks, whether the chicks are fledged, or they're all molting out, or they're all adult birds, they absolutely love them. It gives them plenty of enrichment and they really do benefit massively from them. So fruit flies for the small softbills. Next up we have Dendrobena worms. So these are a type of earthworm, and they're absolutely fantastic for, of course, our lapwings, our wader birds. So the idea of having these, and what I love about them, is the fact that they're farmed, which means they're free of any parasites, protozoa, so nematodes or anything like that which could harm the birds. So they're completely safe, they're disease-free, and the birds love them. They're packed full of protein, packed full of moisture, and it helps give them the natural enrichment that they need and deserve. And last but not least in this delivery is a small pot of waxworms. So these are proper treats for the birds. My hawfinches absolutely love them. Now, they really are bird junk food. They're full of fat, which means the birds really do like them, but they're something I'll give in moderation, only as a treat when I'm trying to tame the birds, train them, or when they're even feeding their chicks in small portions. So they're fantastic, certainly not cheap, but they love them, and particularly with the winter months coming up now and the temperatures dropping cold, they're perfect to give to the hawfinches to add them a little more insulation. Aside from the live food, I also offer frozen insects in 3 different forms. We have pinkies, buffaloes, and calcium worms. Now what these are is a convenient way of feeding insects to the birds without having to have loads of regular deliveries of the live things. So what I'll do when we're breeding the birds is I'll defrost these the night before and feed them to them when they're rearing chicks, or I can mix them in their soft food frozen or give them to them frozen. Either way, they work as a really nice convenient option of feeding these high protein insect foods for all of the birds. Equally, I really like the Hematia, which is also the calcium worms. They have a really nice calcium phosphorus ratio in there, which helps to develop big strong bones in the chicks and help with eggshell development in the hens, of course. So they're all nutritionally balanced. They're farmed, which means that they're disease and pest free, which really does help. And if you weren't sure about it, they also go in the freezer, which kills those sorts of problems as well. So that works really well, mixing them up, and all the birds get them alongside their live food. So there we are. These are all the insects I feed to my birds throughout the year. Now, one of the things you do need to consider is the quantities you're going to give at different times of year. I try and mimic nature as much as possible with all of my softbills and finches. So what I do is shorten or almost remove them from the diet during the winter months, which this is when natural availability of these things is almost zero, and then increase them into the breeding season and the summer months when they're feeding their chicks and the natural availability increases. So by able to doing this, it helps condition the birds, it helps make sure they know what time of year it is. So hopefully this video has been helpful. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have and you'd like to see more from OC Aviary, do subscribe down below, smash a like on this video, and follow us on other social media, Instagram, Facebook and TikTok for daily updates and behind the scenes footage of all of my aviary birds. So thank you very much for watching once again. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.